TyneMet College. My name's Andrew and today we're here with Steve Sharp from Unique Fitness and we're going to talk to him about his journey through into the fitness industry. Steve, how did you get your start in the fitness industry?
Well, I studied A-level PE at sixth form and then I decided to have a total U-turn and I joined the military. After a failed military career, I came back with no gain from it. And I fell back on sport. I did one of those quick-fire PT courses, used the knowledge that I'd gained at school in sixth form, GCSE PE, sixth form PE, applied it into an 8-week condensed PT course, and then got my start in the industry, PTing in like a generic gym floor.
Excellent. And what was your reasoning for getting into it?
I think sport and fitness has always been a bit of a passion. I always competed in some form of sport growing up. I like the way it made me feel, I like the way it makes other people feel, and like I said, I didn't really have many other skills other than being good at physical activities.
Excellent. And your gym in Howden here, it's predominantly a weightlifting gym, so where does that sit within the industry and how has the gym evolved over the years?
We are quite specialist when it comes to what you would consider a gym to be. We're actually made up of amateur sports clubs, so the gym element of it is very small. We're made up of a weightlifting club, a boxing club, even a football club now. So we're made up of sort of a few amateur sports clubs which really need specialist coaching. So we're bringing volunteers who are either former athletes or have been in the game a long time. So it's quite specialist form of coaching.
Excellent. And have you noticed any industry trends that have came about through the lockdown, or how has Unique Fitness dealt with the change?
I think COVID's brought around the whole birth of the online training. It has been around for a while, but it kind of forced everybody to move online. So your Zoom classes, your online check-ins, your distance coaching. It hasn't always been a bad thing though, because it's brought what we do within these four walls and it's allowed us to project it across a wider audience. So if anything, it's been a bit of a gift and an opportunity.
Excellent, excellent. Do you have any advice for anybody wanting to get into the fitness industry?
Study hard, because you don't get a lot of time to study once you actually do the work. My biggest bugbear is I don't get enough time to continually develop myself because I'm too busy doing the work. I wish I had kind of gone down a bit more of an educational route first, maybe even done my degree, but I'd decided against that. And I think it sits in the back of my head as something I'd like to have done, especially when you sit in rooms with industry leaders. They've all got MScs, PhDs, things like that. So I think I would have took a little bit more time educating myself before throwing myself in the trenches.
Excellent, excellent. And where would you put on a scale of importance? Where would you put learning experience?
Well, based on what I just said, I've kind of did it the opposite way. I've built all my experience in the trenches, and it's only now where I'm actually starting to dive back into books. But the difference is I'm now applying my own findings, my experience to that knowledge. So I've kind of built up my coach's eye first, and now I'm sort of working on my coach's brain. And it's quite an interesting one because I've now learned how to coach the people rather than the statistics and the numbers, and I can apply what I've learned into those demographics.
Excellent. Do you have any regrets throughout your career? Is there anything you definitely would have done differently or changed?
I think originally I was very much a yes man. I would say yes to anything, whether it was a 50-year-old woman who was overweight or a 17-year-old lad who had a disability. I would just say yes to all of those people without truly knowing what it was they needed at the time. I would kind of just figure it out as I went. Like I said, I think I would take a lot longer earlier on to educate myself on the different, because you're going to meet such a varied amount of people in this game. And each one's going to be a learning curve, each one's going to be a case study that you're going to learn from, but I think I would have took longer in the initial phases to learn a bit more.
Excellent. Over the years, you have hosted placements here for students at TyneMet College, yes, and also had students that have been members of your club come to TyneMet College. What do you, as a club, think that you gain from having the students on placement?
Fresh eyes, to be honest. I get a little bit stuck in my ways on how things should be done, how I expect things to be run. A lot of these placements, a lot of these students came in and it just changed my way of thinking, or they came in from a different angle and they wanted to try something new. At first I was a bit reluctant to let them try their ideas, but once they actually ran with it, we've had some brilliant things come out of it. I think Ellis, one of the lads, actually got a job here, worked here for a couple of years and become one of the most popular PTs in the building. So it's great having them about because they just give you a different perspective on things.
Mm-hmm. And so what do you think the benefit for the students were while studying, coming in, doing some work experience here in the gym?
I think gives them a realistic idea of what it's like to work with real people in real life scenarios. You know, I use it, it's a very Americanized term, but I use the term student athlete. You have to be that student first before you actually teach the sport. You need to study, you need to understand it, you need to be able to coach the people, not just coach the lifts or coach the sport. And with them being in a sort of learning environment whilst actually working, they've got both ends of the spectrum. They've got to learn from more experienced PTs, but they've actually got to see in real time the effects of what it does.
Excellent. And do you have any final advice for any prospective students of TyneMet going in to study sport courses?
Find out why you want to do it first. Know your why from the get-go. It's easy enough, like how to deliver it, and it's easy enough what we're doing. A squat's a squat, a deadlift's a deadlift. Any man can teach it, any woman can teach it. How are you going to be different, and why are you doing it? Why are you so different to every other PT that's teaching the same squat, the same deadlift? The movements are the same. If you understand your why, your core passion is the why you do it, no matter which route you take, you'll be successful.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Steve. Really appreciate your input. Thanks.